Hello, Dr. Dave Hindmarsh, GP Templates. In this video, as part of our 20% series, we're going to look at the GMC and their guidance specifically on social media. This is important because basically they've updated their guidance and as released of 30th of January of this year. So it is a very, very short document. I'll leave a link below in the video description and you must read this. It's also important because it was repeatedly come up in the AKT feedbacks, notably in the April 23. If you look back at the recent feedback for the January sitting of the AKT over the past 12 months, this is specifically mentioned, so please have a read of this. Okay, this is a redacted real Twitter post, now it's X, from a GP. For those who aren't aware of the history, this is likening the LGBTQ plus flags and the increased awareness around them to social nationalism of Germany back in sort of the late 30s and mid 40s, or Nazi Party for short. And so obviously trying to bring quite a disgusting and quite a horrible sort of comparison between the two. So we pose a question around this. So you're scrolling through Twitter and you see this feed, you look at the profile and clearly see that they're registered with the GMC and with the RCGP. According to the current guidance, what would the GMC have to say about this post? Nothing, as doctor's social media profile is no concern. B, as long as the doctor doesn't show himself as a doctor, this should be fine. So an anonymity argument. They may be at risk of breaching GMC guidance. D, the standards of doctors do not change just because they are social media. This comment is homophobic and reportable to the GMC. The standards of doctors do not change just because they're on social media. The comment, though, is fine for the final one. Okay, so as you probably sussed out, D. And actually, if we take the guidance as it's been updated, this goes to really section 14. Must not use social media to abuse, discriminate against, bully, harass, or deliberately target any individual or group. So this comment clearly does. Using this guidance, we can break it down into really three areas, okay? One, how you interact with your colleagues, so whether that be through phones, through actually using social media, think about Facebook. Also, how you present yourself on social media. So my channel, for example, would be a prime example of that. And lastly, how patients interact with medical professionals on social media. So let's go back to the basics. What is it? So it's anywhere that you can share and create content. So think about blogs, microblogs, so little short articles, and whether that be Twitter, X, even things like LinkedIn, where you can do quite a long feed now. Internet forums, doctors.net being one. Think about all your content communities, so obviously YouTube, think about even like Reddit now pushing forward, Twitch, all those other areas where doctors may be. And also all your social media sites. I mentioned Facebook, but that is one of absolutely many. It does also include other things like WhatsApp, so communication theories as well. So with the colleague interactions, GMC clearly states that you must treat colleagues fairly and with respect. And just be mindful as well that this data that you're sharing potentially in between your colleagues is not safely secured. Do you know where the Facebook server is? I'll give you a clue, it's probably not in the UK. Likewise, where is all of your patient information stored? Say, for example, System 1 EMIS, it is centrally stored in a safe UK GDPR. Okay, a lot of these social medias and where people can fall foul potentially is that they are not, one, in this country, and so two, cannot be therefore compliant with these laws. So WhatsApp being a prime example, if you are on a WhatsApp group you're taking snapshots of ECGs, stop it. Stop it right now. Go to PANDO. PANDO is very similar, but it's WhatsApp effectively for the NHS. I've used it in my military setting and they were doing about how do you share information when you're far apart from each other. But actually, if you're in a hospital setting and you need to get an idea on that ECG and you want to send a quick snapshot, a chest x-ray, and whatever that you feel a picture would be of benefit, or you're going to give out potentially patient identifiable information, do it in a secure setting. So presenting yourself, Okay, you must be honest and trustworthy in all forms of communication, and social media just includes that. You must make sure that your information is accurate and that you don't represent your own personal opinion as fact. Okay, I like to think of it that anything that I push out, I could reference as if I'm writing a journal article that's up for peer review and scrutiny. Okay, so just be mindful of that. Certainly of any content doctor creators who are trying to pass off something that doesn't have a firm evidence base, or at least they're making sure that they're representing what evidence base is. This so much wasn't in the current guidance, but was an interesting point that they raised previously, that doctors using social media can actually be a real positive thing through a couple of means. By engaging people in public health and policy discussions, establishing national and international professional networks, and also facilitating patients' access to information about health and services, to the point where YouTube actually has got the YouTube Health Creator Academy, and they are really supporting content creators from a medical background to push out effectively true information. And I apologise that the rest of this presentation might be on the negative side, but we cannot forget the positive out from this as well. Again, we've talked about servers and are they safely secured. Think about if a patient interacts with you, so for example, someone contacts you, they send a picture via Facebook on a direct message, you are at risk, okay, of that information being stored somewhere unsafe, okay, and you must direct them to the usual place of care. It also highlights the fact that it's blurring boundaries, and it's not fair on you that, I go on social media all the time, just scrolling through, and I should apologise for that. But again, if a patient were to contact me, it's not fair. It's eating into my own personal time and the way to relax. And again, I'm going to bang on about it again, the data isn't secured safely. And just remember as well that this data that you push out there, so imagine, and we've seen this before, when someone is, say, roadside, they've just helped out with a difficult case and they post a picture about it, that actually a lot of photos can have a date, time, location stamp, and so then patients can triangulate that effectively if they were, say, involved in a car accident and say, I don't know, one of the paramedic crews or someone on board posted like, oh, we've just been at this really difficult accident, someone died, that actually, because of that information there, it wouldn't be too hard for someone to calculate who was involved, okay, and could cause, and then they've pushed that on social media, and yeah, it's difficult to sort of take back. So we'll leave a link below. Make sure you read this guidance and sort of broadly think about it in 3 areas: how you're interacting with other colleagues, how you're interacting or presenting yourself, and likewise what would happen if a patient were to sort of interact with you. Hope you found that useful. Dr. Dave Hindmarsh of GP Templates. Please give a like and subscribe. This is part of the 20% series, so helping you with all your stats and admin part of your AKT. Hope that's been useful. Thank you for watching.